Thank you, Holy Ghost. In Jesus' name we have worshipped. Wherever you are, leave your seat. Make sure you shake somebody. Tell that person, Happy New Month. Happy New Month. Happy New Month. And those of us who are sitting in front of an empty seat, take this opportunity to fill the front seat. Take this opportunity. All right, you can have your seat right now. Make sure nobody's sitting in front of an empty seat. Or $105. How many of us came with our writing materials? Today is not preaching, today is teaching. How many of us came with our writing materials? Let me see your hands lifted up. Psalms 105. From verse number 8 to number 9. Psalms 105 from 8 to number 11. Rise to your feet as we read from the screen. Rise to your feet. And rise to your feet. Rise to your feet wherever you are seated. Let's read it together. One to go. He had remembered his covenant forever. Somebody say forever. He has remembered what? You are not talking. He has remembered what? He has remembered his covenant forever. The word which he commanded to 1,000 what? Generation. The word he commanded to who? Open your mouth, say it loud. The word he commanded to who? 1,000 generation. Verse number 9. Which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac. His oath unto who? Isaac. Verse number 10. And confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. To Israel for an everlasting what? For Israel for an everlasting what? To Israel for an everlasting what? Covenant. Verse number 11. Saying unto thee, will I do what? Saying to you, I the Lord will give thee the land of Canaan, the lot of your what? Inheritance. The lot of your what? Inheritance. Father, let your word bless every man. Let this service today be a blessing that will change the lives of your people. May we not remain the same way we came. In Jesus' mightiest name we have prayed. If you are in the house, can you make some noise in the house? Sit down. Today I will be taking you on the steps of the covenant to access your time, to access the blessings of God before the time, before your time. I'll be giving you those steps on how to access into the blessings of God even before the time. To access the blessings of God even before the time. Accessing the blessings of God, accessing your prosperity. Who came with these children? There are a lot of things you need to do to access your blessings before your time. I've seen people who became multi-millionaires at the age of 20. I've seen people who became wealthy at the age of 22, 25. Listen to me. You know why the governor of Ebonyi State remains the best among all the governors in Nigeria? He pays his way into the hands of pastors. He pays his ways into the hands of pastors. There are things you need to do to access your blessings. The allocation of Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, and Enugu, they are not the same. But this man is doing exploits more than every other state. You can't compare the allocation with the Enugu allocation. You need to go to Abakaliki. I passed there on Sunday. I saw some, I was shouting. I had to park my car for more than 20 minutes, moving around the place. The man did a passerby. I said, where is this money coming from? I had to understand that the man pays his way through the hands of pastors. Last year or last 2 years, I had a program in Abakaliki. I was lodging in his hotel. So when I came down and the manager said, man of God, see His Excellency. Very simple man. He said, oh, you are a pastor. He used his two hands and said, man of God, God bless you. I said, thank you, sir. He said, you are staying in this hotel? I said, yeah. He said, are they taking good care of you? I said, yes, they are. He asked me, which room are you? I told him. He said, change him from that room and give him suit in my account. And he gave me 100,000 naira. I said, man of God, this is just for you to buy water in case if you need water. He pays. He cannot see a pastor and allow that pastor to go empty hands. Why? Because he has trained himself over the years on how to access the blessings. On how to access the blessing. So there are things you need to do as a child of God to access your blessings. Sir, till Ebonyi State closes, they cannot forget the governor. True of us. Somebody talk to me. True of us. If you go to Abakaliki now, you will hate this town. You will hate this town. The allocation of this town is almost twice of that of Ebonyi State. So what is happening in Enugu State? Why? Because a man is paying his way through the hands of pastors. Listen to me. There are people you meet in life as men of God. You don't allow them to leave you without dropping something in their hands. It will speak in your future before you arrive. Am I speaking to somebody? It will speak in your future before you arrive. Some people who are struggling today, it's as a result of what you did to yourself. And there are people who are succeeding today because of the level of their commitment. My level of commitment, imagine where you sell your SIM card to sow seed in the church. A vow was made when our reverend was inaugurating Millionaires Club. And he added me in the Millionaires Club as a student pastor. And I had no money. The only option I had was my SIM card to sell and pay my vow. Then they were selling SIM card for 4,000 or thereabout. And I bought that SIM card for just 2,000 naira. So when it increased, I sold it and paid my vow. Sir, at the age of 21, I counted 1 million. At the age of 21, I counted 1 million. There are people here, even at this your gray hair, you have never counted 1 million in bulk. Not 1 million naira, you save 100,000 naira, you save 50,000 naira, you got to 1 million. No. I mean 1 million naira that came into your hands. So as a little boy, I saw 1 million naira in bulk. So I became a millionaire at the age of 21. Why? Because I sold into my future. You need to understand these things. I will take you on some steps. I pray that God will help me, so I will run it very fast, and God will richly bless you in the name of Jesus. Number one, you must understand the covenant of management. You must understand the covenant of management. You must understand the covenant of management. Listen to me. There are money God has given to you for seed sowing. There are money God has given to you for your future. You need to understand these two things. There are money God has given to you for you to invest in something. And there are money God has given to you for sowing of seeds. When you don't understand these two things, you misplace them and you miss out. And at times it looks as if God does not answer prayer when you sow your seed. When God gives you money for business and you use the money for business for another thing, God will judge you for that. You need to understand this. Sir, there are people who have eaten their old age now. I know men and women that have eaten their old age now. Why they are suffering is because the money that came into their hands, they misuse it. The money that came into their hands, they misuse it. But those who managed their own became wealthy. Dangote started his business with 500,000. There are people that have started business with 500,000, even 500 million. They are poor today. But a man started a business with 500,000. Today, he is the richest in Africa. He's among the richest in the world. Just 500,000. By understanding the covenant of management. If you don't understand the covenant of management, you remain poor all the days of your life. I've seen men who are poor today as a result of mismanagement. You need to understand these things. Very, very important. Not every money is meant to be spent. Proverbs 21:20. Proverbs 21:20. You need to understand these things. You need to write them down. Proverbs, please, I want the media to be fast about this. Whatever I'm calling, I want you to be fast about it. There is treasure to be desired, and oil in the dwelling of the wise. But a foolish man spendeth it up. Give me another translation so you can understand it very well. Precious treasure and oil are in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man consumes them. A foolish man consumes them. Listen to me. There are things you don't need to buy, because if you buy them now, they will be taking your money every day. A man of God met me. He said, "Sir, I want to buy this your car." I was looking at him, looking at the car. He said, "How much can this car be in the market?" I told him. He said, "Wow, okay, I'll begin to save the money." I asked him, "What is your income in your church?" He said, "My income every month is 500,000 naira. So 500,000 naira, how many years are you going to save 80 million? Now, after saving 80 million, how many times will you be buying fuel?" I spend close to 20,000 naira almost every week to buy fuel. Yes. But there were times I was not doing that. I had to manage myself. You cannot spend more than your income. When you spend more than your income, you end in poverty. When you spend more than your income, when your salary ends by the end of the month, sir, you are going to be useless in life. you are going to be poor in life. When your income, you spend more than your income, you are finished. You don't have a future. Every child of God that wants to prosper, you should be able to manage your income. Number two, you don't spend on money that is coming. You don't spend on the money that is coming. When you begin to spend because someone promised you 1 million naira and you spend 500,000 you have, child of God, you'll be frustrated in life. That is, no man spends on what you are expecting. No man spends on what you are expecting. If you keep spending on what you are expecting, I have a job that is going to give me 1 million, so let me finish the one I have in my account. Sir, what if the person changes his mind? What becomes of you? You need to understand this. The Bible says a wise man manages the oil, manages the precious treasure, but a foolish man squanders them. You see men go to joint every week, spend 10,000 naira every week. Do you know what it means to spend 10,000 naira every week in a joint? Something that is not adding anything to your system, rather destroying parts of your system. Destroying some parts of your system, destroying every cells in your body. I have seen people who put in their stomach 12 bottles of beer in a day, and after drinking they will begin to misbehave. Calculate it in 1 month, you see that a man is spending close to 50,000 naira on what is not good to his health. People are opening joints everywhere, using you to increase their income. Everywhere in the city of Enugu is joint. They are opening it almost every week. They are opening it almost every month. They are opening it almost every year. Why? Because they found out that people in this town, they like enjoyment. When Satan wants to destroy a town, he releases the spirit of enjoyment. I called one of our members I know. He knows how to drink. He is the chairman of Drinking Association International. I called him, I sat him down, I said, come, sit down. How much do you spend a day? We were just doing it as in Jackery. He didn't know I was psychologizing him and he was vomiting himself to me. I found out that this young man burns close to 500,000 in a year in drinks. I asked him, how many plots of land do you have in this town? He said, monkey coat. But look at the coat in the monkey. Monkey gave it out to another person. Look at the precious coat given to monkey. Monkey said, no, I don't need it. Let me give it to another person. 500,000, calculate it, sir. For 5 years, is 2.5 million naira. There are places in Emene where you can buy one plot of land for 2.5 million. And you will build a house. Sir, you can take 2 million to build 3-bedroom flat. True or false, sir? Eh? You can take 2 million to build 2, 3, 4, whatever bedroom flat. A bungalow, you can just construct it and leave the front. When the Lord begins to bless you, you can now finish it up. But many have squandered the whole thing. The Bible said the wise make use of precious stones, precious treasures, precious oil. The wise make use of it, but the fool, they consume them. Many of you have consumed what God has put in your hands. The problem is not God, the problem is you. I know a young man in Abuja that started up a business with 2,000 naira. He's a landlord in Lube. 2,000 naira. selling fruit. All these they are northern garden egg, granules, osoji, and so on and so forth. From there, the Bible says, forget not the days of your little beginning. Rochas, it was not politics that gave him money. How many of you know? It was not politics that gave Rochas money. Rochas was selling bread in Kaduna and then Abuja. He was selling bread. He will stand on the street as vehicles are running. He will be running with his leg like this to give bread. He will get the money. He will go to the Abuja of now. Then it was Bush. He will buy properties. Not properties they buy with, what do you call it? With tape. It is stone. Where the stone stop is where you collect. Money he got from bread selling. There is no part of Abuja now that Rochas does not have property. That is why EFCC cannot probe him. Because he has money. He came into the States with money. What are you probing him for? Some of you, little things that will give you money, you despise them. You are looking for a job that will give you 10 million. Nobody can give you a job that you are not experienced with. You need to understand this and you need to manage it. Very important. Very important. Number one is what? Number one is what? Understanding the what? The covenant of management is very important. Proverbs 22, number 3. Proverbs 23, number 3. Proverbs 23, number 3. Don't desire his choice. Don't desire his choice food. For that food is what? Deceptive. Not everything you should desire. Not everything you should have. There are things you see, avoid them. Not that you see someone, this man is wearing shirt of 100,000 naira. You begin to save 100,000 naira to buy the shirt. If you save the 100,000 to buy the shirt, what is your income? A man's income that is 1 million naira can buy a shirt of 100,000. And you see someone whose income is 10,000 naira struggling to buy a shirt of 100,000. You see people who wear hair. You choose to go and buy the hair. What is this? Not everybody should wear gold. In your level, wear the one of your level. By the way, gold, you can buy them and save them. You can use them. You can sell them and become wealthy tomorrow. I've seen someone who bought a gold of 1 million naira, later sold the gold of 5 million. Because it appreciates. Gold does not depreciate. Gold is of the same with lands. You don't buy what you are not up to. You don't wear what you are not up to. I cannot desire what I'm not up to. I can't. Hebrews 12:11. But writing these things down is very, very important. Hebrews 12:11. Very important. No discipline seems enjoyable at the time. If you don't discipline yourself, sir, no discipline is enjoyable. If you want to be wealthy in life, you need to discipline yourself. And the Bible is saying it is not enjoyable, but painful later on. However, it yields the fruit of peace and righteousness to those who have been trained by it. It yields when you train yourself. The Bible says it is painful. It is not easy. But the Bible says later, however, it yields the fruit. You need to discipline yourself. A man who does not discipline himself, since we started this building, I have cut down every of my expenses. I don't eat more than 1,000 naira a day. Yes. Don't look at me like that. I don't eat more than 1,000 naira a day. No, it's not possible. If you doubt me, ask Chiwendo, she will tell you. Because anytime I'm in the site, I call her to get me something. And it must be 1,000. If it is more than 1,000, she pays. I cut down my expenses. It's a discipline. You need to discipline yourself. You need to train yourself. You need to know these things. I can eat 5,000 naira a day, nothing will happen. But sir, what you are building for future will be there waiting for you. But if you discipline yourself, you tell yourself, not everything I see I should buy. Not everything given to me I should buy. Sir, there are times people bring things I am interested in, but I will tell them I am not ready to buy it now. Not everything you should buy. Because what you bought today can expire tomorrow. That very raining thing you bought today, sir, can finish. That is why I don't wear anything that rains. No, you can't see me wear anything that rains. Why? Because if it stops raining, what becomes of me? So my money don't go. You can't see me wear anything that is raining. I wear something that is durable. Every year, every time, it is still useful. You need to discipline yourself. Discipline yourself. As someone who is looking for, you are trying to work on yourself, on your weight. Not everything you should eat. There are people who say, I know a boy. Look at how he is. Anytime I'm with him, I think I'm very slim. I'll be encouraging myself. I'll tell myself, oh, hey, why are you working on yourself? See how slim you are. Not one. Even like this is very massive. He eats shawarma every day. I told him you will die soon. You will die soon. Because if any heart attack hits you, you are gone. You are finished. The blood is not flowing well. Not one. Every day you will see him eating shawarma. Within domain. Within domain. He goes to Opera Square to sell slimming tea. I saw him one day. I said, I told him, I said, are you educating me? What are you selling? He said, slimming tea. I said, are you slim? You can't sell what is not on you. He told me this thing works. If you take this thing for 21 days, he said, Onena, you will slim down. I said, test it on you first. If you test it on yourself, then I will take it. Discipline. You need to understand it. You need to understand these things. You need to discipline yourself. The Bible says it pays at the end of the day. Discipline yourself. Not everything you see you buy. Not everything you see you buy. You must not be found in the joint every week. You must not be found in the joint every day. Save that money. Sit down and calculate what you spend that are not useful. You will see that what you spend that are not useful is more than what you have saved. The things you bought that are not useful, they are more than what you've saved. Am I communicating? Am I communicating? If I'm communicating, say amen. And you are not saying amen. If I'm communicating, say amen. Very, very important. You need to understand it. Number two. Number what? It's number two. It's number two. I am in number two. It's still on the covenant of management. I'm in number two. Are you the one teaching or am I the one teaching? Number two. Understanding the covenant of tithing. You must understand the covenant of tithing. If you want to access the blessing before the time, you must understand the covenant of tithing. If you must access the covenant, if you must access the blessings, the promises of God before time, you must understand the place of tithing. A man who does not pay tithe, tithings his life. A woman who does not pay tithe, tithing things for himself or herself. Tithe is the easiest way to access what God kept for you in 10 years. Tithe is the easiest way to access what God has for you in 10 years. The easiest way to accept it. Somebody came to me and said, sir, I used to pay my tithe, and all of a sudden I lost 60 million. What really happened? I asked him, how do you pay your tithe? He said to me, sir, I pay my tithe anytime money comes into my hands. I said, do you pay your tithe? He said, yes. I said, what is your tithe? He said, 10% of what I get. I said, do you give 10% of what you get? He said, I only give on that income. I only give on that very particular business. I said, okay. Do you do it faithfully? He says, sir, at times when things are hard and I need money to do business, I take money from the tithes and I do the business and tell God I will pay you later. You don't use the money for spirit to do business. The spirit will frustrate it. I told him, you use what belongs to God to do business, which means you do to God. He said, sir? I said, yes. I said, even the money that people dash you, your tithes should be there. I have an envelope in my office for tithes. If you give me 10 naira, I remove the tithe and put there. For me to pay less, I rather add it. I can't give God 5 naira. I can't give God 10 naira. I can't give God 15 naira. So if my tithe is 10 naira, is 10,000, 5 naira, I make it 11,000. Or I make it 10,500 naira. He told me, sir, I lost 60 million. He said, sir, that 60 million I lost in that oil business. The 60 million I lost in that oil business, 2.5 million naira was my tithe. I said, let me use it and do business. When the money comes out, I said, was that the first time you did it? He said, no, I have been doing it. I said, God got angry in that one and said, you will lose this one. You and God, who is in pain? He said, me. I said, go and ask God for forgiveness. You don't use the money for God to do business. You don't. Except He speaks to you to do that. Last week, they needed money in the site. And the money I had was my offering and my tithe. I said, how am I going to do this? I said, no. I told him, he's here. I told him, within my team here, I won't bring it out. I was sitting under that canopy. A voice came to me and said, the offering is mine. The tithe is mine. Use it for the thing. I said, no. Someone is bewitching me. I'm telling you. I said, no. Somebody's bewitching me. I won't do this. That voice kept coming. I left that place, went to New Heaven, came back, bought food, came back, finished eating. The voice came again. The money is mine. The offering, you are giving it to me. The tithes, you are giving it to me.
I said, no.
Release it. I have a reason. I have to release the money. Sir, by Saturday, I had no money for offering. Saturday morning by 12, I had no money for my tithes. I had no money for offering. Around 1 or 2 or 3, a particular family came for prayers. Give me your ears. After praying for them, they said to me, sir, we have an envelope to appreciate you. I said, no problem. The eldest one went to his car, came back with an envelope, and gave it to me. I put it in my bag. You saw them, sir. This one is not, I can't tell lies. When they left, I was busy. I didn't remember to count the money. I counted the money around 6 or thereabout. What I gave out was 60-something thousand. What they gave me was 85,000. My tithe and offering was there. That same evening, another alert came into my personal account. Don't ask me the amount. He said to me, son, the offering is mine. The tithe is mine. That was the first time me making use of my tithe and offering to solve a problem. Sir, if you use your tithe to solve a problem, when God has not approved of it, he frustrates anything you put your money into. Any man who does not pay tithe does not support God, because he said, pay it so that there will be food and meat in my house. So when you don't pay your tithe, you are starving God, and because you are starving him, he will starve your blessings. The Bible says, honor the Lord with your tithes. So if you don't pay tithe, you don't honor God, and you cannot access that blessing. This thing I'm teaching you, I'm not teaching you because I want you to be paying tithe for the church income to increase. I am telling you this because this is the secret that made me to access the blessings of God before time. Before time. When you pay your tithe, God is not only giving you money, he gives you revelation. What brings money is not hard work. What brings money is the revelation you have that the other man does not have. That is what gives you money. How come somebody thought about pure water, seal it, and the person made money? How come somebody thought about bottled water, put it in something? Just like that. How come somebody thought about doing materials this way and so it? Child of God, this is all about revelation. So when you pay your tithe, God opens your brain for revelation. There are people here, you say, I'm not paying tithe, but I'm living a good life. Sir, you are not living a good life. You are not living a good life. You are not at all. Anybody that is here that cannot carry out a project of 5 million naira without saving for it, you are not doing well. So don't conclude I am doing well because you see 3 times meal you eat, you say you are doing well. You are not doing well. Sir, beggars eat 3 times. Huh? Beggars eat, even some beggars, they eat 20 times. I know one boy around Open Sheraton. His stomach is like this. I asked him, how many times do you eat? He said, okay, I know they remember. I eat as many as I can. That is why my stomach. So a beggar is even eating more than the people that gave him food. So you eating 3 times is not a sign that you are doing well. You paying your house rent is not a sign you are doing well. Huh? Because there are people who are keke riders. I know where is Paul. Paul paid his house rent before the expiring date. So what is the difference between you and him? You are paying house rent, he's paying house rent. So both of you are at the same level. There is something God wants you to do when you pay your tithe. Malachi chapter 3. Give me from verse number 7. Let me teach you. Give me. All the glory must be to the Lord. Even from the days of your fathers, look at what God is saying. Even from the time of Abraham. Sir, what brought about the blessings of Abraham was the tithe he paid to Melchizedek. That was the first blessings, and he paid the tithe of it. And the Bible says, from the days of Abraham, ye are gone away from my ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, said the Lord of hosts. But you said, wherein shall we return? Give me the next verse. Many of us have gone astray. Will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and in offerings. In tithes and in offerings. Give me verse number. Give me the next verse. In tithes and offerings. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. God is the one cursing you, not me. Any man who does not pay tithes continues with financial struggle. Every man. General Lewis will bear me witness. There is no week work has not gone on in this building. We'll spend more than the income of the church every week is here. We'll spend more than the income. So where is the money coming from? There are weeks we'll spend 1 million. There are weeks we'll spend 500,000. There are weeks we'll spend up to 1.5 million naira. Income of this church is not high as 200,000. When it is 200,000 is when I came to church with 100,000. Is somebody understanding what I'm saying? You need to understand these mysteries. But how does God do these things? Because I am faithful in tithing. Prophetic Word Assembly as a church is faithful in tithing. I pay the tithe of this church faithfully. I don't remove kobo out of it. Faithfully, I pay. I pay my own tithe faithfully. So, God is doing exploits. God is using us to do a lot because we pay tithe. So, Prophetic Word Assembly as a name is not under a curse, but some members are under a curse of financial struggle. Do you know what it takes for someone who does not know you, someone who has not come here, to tell you to come and carry rod? As many as you can. Pay me whenever you get money. Someone who does not know where I live, he does not know, he has not been to this church. I call on phone, cements are brought. I call on phone, rods are brought. This is as a result of paying your tithe faithfully. So when you don't pay your tithe, you continue struggling. You continue struggling. You are not paying that tithe to enrich me. I'm already rich. Did you hear me? Write it down so that it will be hitting your head. You are not paying tithe to enrich me. I'm already rich. I'm already blessed. I'm already blessed. So that your tithe you think you are paying to enrich me is you're wasting your time. You are enriching yourself and not me. Me that pay tithe, I'm enriching myself. I'm the highest tither in this church. That's the truth. Over the years. And God said, I cannot leave you here you have come. I cannot leave you here you have come. You need to understand these things. Very important. If you want to step out of financial struggle, if you want to step out of struggling, child of God, drop your tithes. It's very important. Number 3, understanding the covenant of kingdom commitment. Understanding the covenant of kingdom commitment. A man who does not commit himself into the kingdom work, God cannot commit himself to your blessings. God cannot commit himself to your blessings. So what makes God to commit himself in your business and what you do is your commitment in his house. Am I communicating? Psalms 92 number 13. Psalms 92 number 13. If you are not committed, God cannot commit himself in you. That is the truth. Your commitment in the house of the Lord is very, very important. You need to understand that. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the court of our God. You cannot flourish in the church when you are not committed in the things of God. You cannot. Listen to me. Eye service and commitment, they are not the same. Some of you, what you do is eye service and not commitment. You just want people to see you. I don't do anything for anybody to see me. I do things for God to see me. I know people who come to church because they want people to see. They want Papa to see that they came to church. You are wasting your time. When your mindset is coming to church for me to see you, I will see you, but God will not discover you. But when you come for God to see you, he will bless you, and I will see the evidence. The Bible said, those who are planted in the house of the Lord, you need to be committed to a point where nothing can make you not to come to church. Some people were calling me on phone and told me, sir, I can't come to church because I don't have transport. I look at them. One called me on phone. I said, I want to give you something. I told the person, the Lord asked me to give you 100,000. The person is in the church. I'll be like, over 100,000. I told the person, how come the person, she went to see the transport? What you be a church? She went to the transport. I don't have transport. There is no 1 naira in this house. My children have not eaten. I told him, relax. God asked me to give you 100,000. Come to church. How will you chat at Kekedia? So where did the Kachat Keke come from? I look at people at times. It is better I trek to church and talk to God. Sir, I came trekking. Change this level for me. Those of you that know about 123 Tenant Road, I have trekked from 277 School Road, where we were living, to Tenant Road by Mosque. It's like trekking from here to camp. It's like trekking from here to camp. I have done that more than 3 months, going to church, asking God for mercy. And God now says, son, your days of trekking has come to an end. Begin to drive till the day you die. God must see that level of commitment before he helps you. If he doesn't see it, he won't help you. If he doesn't see it, he won't help you. So you need to understand these principles. They are very, very important. Commitment. In your department, are you committed? In your department, are you committed? Listen to me. In your department, and time for your department to gather is 5 p.m. and you are coming by 6 p.m. You are not committed. Even as a leader, every leader should be in church before the arrival of the people who are under you. When your members, when people who you are leading always see you come late, they will learn it from you and begin to come late. And anytime you talk about lateness, they look at you, they do. Sir, lateness of a leader makes the followers to insult him or her without any apology. Because you have nothing to defend yourself. Your commitment, your level of commitment should come to the level of being in service on time. Very important. Commitment. Those who have been planted in the house of the Lord. These are steps you need to put in. When you put in these steps, child of God, you will get your blessings before the time. Huh? Are you hearing what I'm saying? I told you last time, the denomination I was, there was an issue that came up, and I was invited to the ECs. When I came into the EC's conference hall, they said, "Go back. We are looking for a brim, and it's not you." It was one of them that said, "This is the brim you people are looking for." The man who was in charge then said, "Are you the almighty Abrim? As small as you are? Are you the one that is reigning in every church? The whole Nigeria? You?" I said, "Sir, it's me." He said, "Sit down." It took them 20 minutes to start asking me questions. The level of my commitment made me to assess my popularity before the time. My popularity before the time. There is no pastor you will mention my name that does not know. Some of them I don't know them, but they know me. There was a bishop who came to see me from Port Harcourt. He said, "I knew you way back in Port Harcourt, but I don't know you." I was looking at, he said, "Who doesn't know you?" I assessed this popularity at a very young age. Why? Because I was so committed to the things of God. And God said, "I cannot allow you." Sir, if you are committed in the things of God, nobody can fight you and stand. It's not possible. If you are committed in the things of God, nobody can fight you and succeed. Because if you fail, God will be questioned. So for God not to be questioned, He will save you. For God not to be questioned, He will save you. Because you are committed. You need to come to this level of commitment where nobody can convince you to change your mind from working for God. Somebody was telling me, he said, why I stopped doing what do you call it, this internet something. Somebody said, "Why are you wasting your data for the church? How much does the church give you?" I look at the question. I said, "Who said that?" The person covered up. I said, "It shows you are not committed. Nobody as I am can tell me not to give God anything." Sir, that is the end between me and you. I'm telling you before God. My mother called me one day. He said, "Chineme says, Biko, send that me go. I go na chikbu here. Nsi amma yaza. Ego no here be no church. Shishi, I give me say. Yes, nsi ya shishi. 1 naira. In fact, 10 naira doka or day. One day also can send there like me. The one I have is from God." She said, "It's a chineke na aga kan negi mo." See, I don't know possible. The God I'm working for will not allow you to die. But for me to give you the money, it's not possible. They have come to understand me that way. That when it has to do with God, you are your own. Chopande none of my house. Some of them don't eat in a day. You must fast. You must. Commitment. You need to come to that level that God can trust you with any money. Let me tell you this, then we'll jump to the number 4 or number 5. Listen. When God sees that He cannot trust you with the money for the kingdom work, He cannot give you again. You need to understand it. God gave you 500,000 for kingdom work. You misuse it. He will not give you money again. So my mother, my father, they know me for that. It was my father I sent money to. He called me on phone and said, "This money, this month." You see, I sent the Kwanamia back. On a very sincere note, I'm not lying to you. See, I sent the Kwanam the money back. Yes, you see, you see, you will turn that money to better account to give. Send the Kwanamia back. He said, "Send the account number." I forwarded my account number. He called me and said, "Oh, you mean it?" I said, "If I tell you where I got that money I gave you, don't look at me like someone who is a hard rocker. I am when it has to do with God's things. I am. If I am not like that, what you are seeing will not be there. Don't look at me like someone who is wicked. I am not wicked. You are even more wicked than me. I'm not. That is the truth. It's a level of discipline when it has to do with God. But when it has to do, the money is for you, I can give it to you. But when it has to do, this money is for this, bakwashi here or nafuta. There's a level of commitment. There's a level of commitment you will get to. There is nothing God cannot do for you. So God is looking for those who are committed to his things. If you are not committed, he cannot be committed to you. Touch your neighbor, say neighbor. If you are not committed, God cannot be committed. Number what? Number 4. Understanding. I love this one. I love this one so much. Understanding the covenant of prayer. I love this one so much. And I want everybody to write this one. I love this one. Give me your ears. Let me say this. As mighty as God is, a sinful man like you will kneel down and begin to talk to him. He will leave where he's going to and pay attention to listening to you. As mighty as he is, as great as he is, as you are. How many of you have number 2 Buruburu here? Lift your hand. How many of you? How many of you here have number 2? Who are they? How many of you have number to God? Can I see your hands lifted up? How many of you have number to God? God and these people I mentioned, who is greater? Talk to me. God and these people that I mentioned their names, who is greater? But you call him anytime you want. Prayer is the only easy access to talk to God. If you want to access your 10 years, you access it through 10 years, through prayers. If you want to access your greatness, you access it through prayers. In those days in Bible school, other students will be playing. I will go inside the bush. I'll be cooking myself. You need to see me in those days in Bible school. I was looking like that usher. What's that her name? Antonia. The way Antonia was is the way I was. Very slim. And then you belt and I be like this. 2 times belt on the roll. I'm not lying. You will turn it from here, it will come here. 2 times. It got to a point I was no longer wearing belt. Man, a easy crossing belt. You can fix another person's side the trouser. I was living a life of prayer. I was living a life of fasting. I was cooking myself. My mother used to call me Oguazo then. Yes. She used to call me Oguazo because I was very slim. Very tiny. I was cooking myself in prayers. And I'm withdrawing from what I prayed. Do you want to enjoy your 10 years? Make use of this place. If you make use of this place, God will direct you on people to follow and people to avoid. There are associations that has brought your delay in life. There are associations that has brought your delay in life. But on your knees, God will show you this person, this person. Avoid him, avoid her. Because there are people you will follow. Your speed in life will be reduced automatically because they have spirits of delay following them. It was the spirit of delay upon Jonah that delayed people who were traveling to another place. There are Jonahs in your life you need to avoid. And you cannot know them by carnal way. You know them by spirituality. On your knees, you will discover them one after the other. God said to me, son, do you want to build? I said, yes. He said, this, that, person, so on and so. Begin to avoid them because they carry the spirit of dryness of finance. There are people you will meet in life, money will run away from you. And there are people you will meet in life, money will begin to flow into your hands. So anybody who comes around you and money runs away from you, begin to run. You cannot discover them with your carnal eye. You discover them with your spiritual eyes. Very important. And for you to have results in your prayers, you must come before the Lord with thanksgiving. You must dress in a way of thanksgiving. Give me Esther chapter 5, number 1. Let me do one or two things here. I enjoyed this one. While I was preparing this message, I enjoyed this one more than every other one. Esther chapter 5, 1. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the king's house over against the king's house. And the king sat upon his royal throne in the royal house over against the gate of the house. Give me verse number 2. I want you to listen to this very well. Put your eyes and listen very well. Oh God, help me. And it was so when the king saw Esther, the queen, standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the king held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of his hands. Verse number 2. Verse number 3. Then said the king unto her, what wilt thou, King Esther? That is, what do you want? And what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the kingdom. Give me verse number 4. And Esther answered, if it seem good unto the king, let the king and Haman come this day unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Verse number 5. This is where I want to talk to you now. Then the king said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther had said. So the king and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared. Now look up here. It was the way Esther dressed that attracted the attention of the king. King had guests. King had governors. King had presidents. Prominent men who came to meet with him in the house. And all of a sudden Esther dressed and came into the midst of the meeting. And the Bible says the king looked at her and stretched out his golden hand and said to her, come forth, touch me. Sir, in the law of the land, Esther is not permitted, no queen is permitted to come before the king without the permission of the king. True or false? That was why Vashti was banished and dismissed. Because she came before the king without telling the king. Now this time around, Esther dressed in her royal apparel, looking so beautiful, looking so as accepting. The king said, no, I cannot avoid this one. The king had to say, no. I don't need to avoid this one. This lady is messing up my mind. He stretched forth his hands and said, come. And when Esther came, he said to Esther, ask me anything, even half of my kingdom, I will give it to you. Why? Because the way Esther dressed before the king. Sir, if you dress before the Lord with thanksgiving, he stops every other thing to attend to you. I don't know who I'm talking to now. I don't know who I'm speaking to now. If you come before the Lord dressed in thanksgiving, people who come before the Lord with a desperate heart, God does not attend to them. But people who come before the Lord with thanksgiving and worship, God will always abandon every other thing to attend to him. Why? Because the king left all the people who came to see him to attend to the request of Esther. Why? Because of the way Esther dressed. If you dress in thanksgiving, God will attend to you. Sir, thanksgiving is what pleases God to answer prayers. Thanksgiving is what pleases God. Psalms 104. Psalms 104. Oh God, help me. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his court with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. Do you want your prayers to be answered? Come before him with thanksgiving. Don't come before the Lord with this complaint in your heart. Always come before the Lord with thanksgiving. I've never seen a man who came before the Lord with thanksgiving and go home the same way he came. Your prayer should be a prayer of thanksgiving and not the prayer of asking. Those who ask often before the Lord go home empty. But those who are thankful go home with a thankful. Those who complain all the time, you come before the Lord, Lord give me this, Lord give me that. So at times you don't need to come before the Lord giving him complaint, telling him this and that. Even me, sir, anybody who complains so much, when you come around me, I avoid you. I hate complaint because I don't complain much. Complain is the younger brother of nagging. Both of them work together. And God hates nagging. So anybody who complains so much, God sees you as a nagging person. You come before the Lord with thanksgiving. If you come before the Lord complaining, the Lord will not attend to you. Write this down. It's very, very important. You cannot tap into your future through prayers without thanksgiving. You cannot tap into your future through prayers without thanksgiving. You cannot tap into your future through prayers without thanksgiving. No matter how you pray, you need to tap into your future with thanksgiving in your heart. With thanksgiving in your heart is very, very important. Everything in life has a principle. For you to access God, you must know this. You must know this. When you come before the Lord with thanksgiving in your prayers, he takes you to the promises. When you come before the Lord in prayers with thanksgiving, he takes you to the place of the promises. Isaiah 61 number 3. Isaiah 61 number 3. Isaiah 61 number 3. Please fast. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified. So when you give God praise and thanks, he will turn your mourning to dancing. He will give you beauty for your ashes. He will give you anything you want. Let me tell you something, child of God. For the past 3 months, I have never prayed and tell God, give me this. I have always been giving him thanks for that which he has done. Because the Bible said, before we open our mouth and pray, he knows what we want to pray. So because of that, I no longer ask him, I give him thanks. Because he knows what I want to ask him. He has already heard me. All I need is to give him thanks. Sir, when you give God thanks, he performs wonders. When you give God thanks, he performs wonders. When you give him thanks, do you want to be blessed? Do you want your life to be changed? Begin to live a life of thanksgiving. Stop this life of complaining. Prayer is not complaining. The meaning of prayer is not complaining. The meaning of prayer is not what some of us think. It's beyond what some of us think. I'm taking my time to deal with this so you can understand them, so you can change the way you pray. This remaining 2 months, I want people in Prophetic Word Assembly to end better. I don't like your amen. I say, I want people in Prophetic Word Assembly to end better. Your amen is not encouraging me. I say, I want people in Prophetic Word Assembly to end better. If you believe it, shout amen like a believer. When you thank God for what he has not done, he gives you more than what you have asked. He gives you more than what you have asked. Why we are still where we are is because we don't understand the place of giving God thanks. When you understand the place of giving God thanks, your life will turn around for good. Thanking God is committing him to perform wonders. When you thank God, you commit him to perform wonders. You implicate him. Answers to every prayer point is delivered on the wings of thanksgiving. Answers to every prayer point is delivered on the wings of thanksgiving. Answers to every prayer point is delivered on the wings of thanksgiving. Answers to every prayer point is delivered on the wings of what? Thanksgiving. So when you give thanks to God, sir, he delivers your answers automatically. Nothing makes him not to do that. Thanking God is pleasing God. When you thank God, you please him. When you don't thank God, you can't please him. The king left what he was doing to attend to Esther, because Esther came before him with appreciation. He came before him dressed in what the king loves. You need to understand this. Number 5, understanding the covenant of faith. How many of us believe that before December, that good money will enter your hands? Let me see your hands. Lift your hands. How many of you believe that? If you believe that, stretch your hands on the altar. Say, my Father, by faith, I connect to this. In Jesus' name. Sit down. By faith. By faith. You need to understand the covenant of faith. When we wanted to start this building, I've told you now, 34,500 naira. That was what we started this building with. 34,500 naira. How many of you have spent more than 34,500 Within 1 month or 2 months, lift your hands. Okay, within 1 year, how many of you have spent more than 34,500? Lift your hands. Lift your hands now. You don't know why I'm asking. You have spent more than 34,500. Lift your hands. In 1 month, lift your hands. Bring down your hands. What would have built a house for you, you just ate it. And why you ate it is because you don't have faith. Yes. You don't have faith. He told me, he said, sir, let's leave this thing. We will do it today. He was trying to delay. When he saw my eyes are turned on a red, he said, okay, sir, I'm going. He came back, was started immediately. Faith without works is dead. Do you want to build? Start with the little you have. Faith can move anything. If you have faith, you are married, you will marry. But anytime you shake it, are you sure I will marry? God shifts from the promise. Let your faith be so strong. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. You need to have faith. This building is all about faith. After service, just go inside. You see what we are doing there. You will begin to look at the church that is doing this kind of massive project. You ask yourself, where is the money coming from? But every week, every day, work is going on. It is not cash, it is faith. When God sees faith in you, He brings everything that you desire to pass. He brings it to pass. Faith is very, very important. Hebrews 11:6. You cannot access prosperity without faith. But without faith, it is impossible to please Him. For he that cometh to God must believe that He is, and that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. Without faith, you cannot please God. It is impossible to please God. Do you want to please God? You must have faith. You must have faith. Sir, this building is giving God glory. There are most of you here, your faith is lifted that I can still build. How many of you know that? How many of you have that faith that I can build? Because the testimony of this building is only faith that brought it to work. And the Bible says it is impossible to please God without faith. So you want whatever you want to achieve, come in the place of faith. What is faith? Faith is action. What is action? Force. What is force? Making a step out of where you are standing. Making a step. Don't just wait. Listen, let me tell you something. There are people, there are properties. You can pay 3, 4, 5 times and you own a property. Why are you waiting to save 10 million to buy a property when you can start paying with 1 million naira? It's all about faith. It's all about faith. If I tell you how we bought this land, you will be shocked. The first payment of this land was 200,000 for commitment. The first payment, 200,000. The first payment to the Wakamas was 100,000. We bought from 2 different people. It was 100,000. The first payment was 200,000. So why are you limiting yourself when you can start little? 2020 is not a year for you to tell me why you didn't buy land. In fact, even this year, go and begin to find a land. Make a deposit. God will bring the other ones. God cannot give you money when He does not see your actions. He does not. He does not give you money when He does not see your actions. We want to put what we call screen on the altar when we finish. It has been in my heart. One of my friends who came here, he saw that. He said, "Man of God, I think you need to." His name is Bello. Oh, I don't know if you were around. It was engineer. Okay, I think you were around. He said he was going to bury his father. That said he killed his father. I think you were there. When he saw it, he said, "Man of God, this thing is good though. You need to put that." He said, "I will give you a link. It is sold for 15 million, but I will give you a link. You will buy it for 6 million. He said, "Man of God, begin to save your money small, small. If you give them 2 million, they can send it to you. And gradually, you pay." God cannot give you anything you have not conceived in your heart. Conceive it in your heart and have faith, you will do it. The time we brought this building and we changed the design for Rekin, even himself said, "Sir, where will we get this money? Is it not going on?" I say, "Let's put our head. It's going on." Before Sunday, we will start the pouring. By next week, trusting God, we'll finish the Rekin. The building started with 34,500 naira. Where is your faith? You're waiting for 1 million naira to start a project when 50,000 naira is enough to start it. Stop limiting God by your faithlessness. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse number 4. Stop limiting God by your faithlessness. Stop limiting God. God is too big to be limited with this your tiny mind. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Behold, his soul which is lifted up. Behold, the soul which is lifted up. But the righteous shall live by faith. Sir, I am not living by anything. I am living by faith. I'm living by faith. You need to understand it. The covenant. This number what? Number 5. I'm about to call number 6. To access your 10 years blessing, you must deal with the spirit of envy. To access, you need to write these things down. You need, whatever you write down remains in your brain. Whatsoever you write down remains in your brain. You must deal with the spirit of envy. God does not bless a man who bears grudges. Envy is the worst thing that can come upon a man. I envy no man because I'm not in competition with anybody. One of the things that brings envy is when the spirit of competition is at work. Don't see yourself better than the other person. Don't see that the other person is better than you. See yourself as original. When you begin to see yourself as original, you cannot compete with anybody. Sir, I am the original of the original. I no longer see anybody. It's me I see. So whatever you do is your pattern and destiny and how God has graced you. So the more you do it, I appreciate you. And the more I appreciate you, the more I learn from you. The more I learn from you, the more I grow. A man who is envious of his brother dies before time. You must avoid it. Envy is very dangerous. Envy is very dangerous. You want to access your blessings before that time. God cannot give a man who envies his brother blessings. It's not possible. Because if he gives you that blessing, you will use it and intimidate your brother. So why would God give it to you? One of the ways envy comes into a man is by associating with people that gossip. Write it down. One of the ways envy enters into the life of a man or a woman is by associating with people that gossip. What the fruit of gossip is envy. The fruit of gossip is envy. Why should I envy God's will? Why? Why I envy God's will is because I have discussed him in the secret. And having discussed him in the secret, when he comes out to do anything, I say, look at you. And I'm Madre Gamara. But my joy is anyone that his heart is clean on the people that are envying him or her, the Lord elevates the man. When your heart is pure to those who envy you, the Lord elevates you the more. One of the things that brings high blood pressure is envy. If you want to be taking high blood pressure drugs, begin to envy me, because you will see me every Sunday. The more you see me, the more your heart flies. Am I communicating? This is how God elevates. Why God will always bless me is because I don't envy anybody. Even my friend that came here, I have called him. I said, oh boy, I've started building. You don't want to give me bags of cement. And when you were building in Aba, then I gave you 40 bags of cement. I am building. You promised me 10 bags of cement. He came here on Saturday and brought out 15,000. Those of the ushers that were praying, I was struggling with him here. I said, hey, he gave drop nonsense I hear. You were not. I heard him, he had to complete it 20,000 and dropped it on the altar. I asked you to pick the money. When we stepped out to his hotel, he came for a program. He said to me, envy is dangerous. I said, I don't understand. He said, I was passing this place the other day. I wanted to come and give you the money. I said, let me go to ShopRite. Then I'll come back to the church. He said, I was passing. I saw that the block has lifted. I said, who is able to achieve this thing? This thing I just saw on Facebook the other day. He said, because of that, it spoiled his mind. He said, no, I won't give you that money again. Envy. He was confessing to me. When he came and saw the raking, he now said, no, I have to submit. The grace that gave you this, I need to connect to it so that that same grace will come to me. He said, what I built was community hall. But what I saw, I need to sow on this altar. I asked him to give me the money outside. He said no. That he will come to this altar and kneel down. The ushers that were praying here, you saw him. He came, knelt down here and prayed. Touched the oil. He put his hand here. put the oil on his tongue, put his oil on the oil. He said, whatever that is this oil that came out of your mouth, and people are committed to do this, let that same oil go with me as I go to Abba. Envy is dangerous. Why should I envy you that you came to church with shoe? Why? I don't envy anybody. I don't. And that is why I receive gifts. I can begin to call people that bought shoes for me. This one, now this man, where they there? Now buy them. Yes, now buy them. I can begin to mention. I can't envy you. We were not born the same day. Even if we were born the same day, it was not the same hospital. Even if it were in the same hospital, it was not from the same womb. So why should I compete with you? Why should I envy you? Life is turn by turn. Shine your shine and allow me shine my shine. Let your heart be clean, because the Lord blesses every clean heart. When your heart is full of evil, God cannot be committed in blessing you. Delete the spirit of envy and jealousy. It will not take you anywhere. It will not take you far. Rather, it will limit you. Look at him. Just because he saw the building, he became envious of me. And what he wanted to give to me, he didn't get it. He came back yesterday. How many of you saw him? You saw him yesterday. He came back yesterday. He said that where he was preaching, after preaching, that a man walked up to him, that was on Sunday, walked up to him and said, "Sir, I feel like blessing you." He said, "Okay, sir, bless me." He said the man did a check of 1 million. Yes. Yesterday, you saw him here. He said a man did a check of 1 million naira. He said, "I came to transfer the tithes to you." He transferred 100,000 naira to me. Just like that. He said, "I cannot remember when last somebody walked out to me and gave me 50,000. He said, "But I did this in your place on Sunday, put oil on my head, in my tongue, and went there. Somebody on his own gave me money." He said, "There is something you carry which I need all the days of my life." It's not of he that willeth. It's not of him that runneth, but it's of the Lord that shows mercy. He said, "Look at, if I had allowed such kind of a thing, I would have missed this thing. I will not receive it. Himself will not receive it. But look at just connecting to it. He became blessed." Sir, that person you are jealous of, envious of, might be the one carrying the grace for your next level. What you don't have, you don't have. And the only way you can connect to it is by appreciating the man who carries it. When you appreciate the man who carries it, you contact it. Many people are praying to connect to the grace I carry. I am a multiple connector. Multiple. I'm not just connected to one grace. I'm connected to several grace. Several grace. I appreciate several grace. Several grace. Bishop Nelson Nana called me on phone. He said, "We are doing a convention. And we have brought out the advert. And my member said, no. If a brim does not come, we will not be happy." I'm not lying. The member, they gave me an award. If you go to my office, you will see the award they gave to me. You need to connect, clean your heart. Anybody that you see and you feel angry, erase it from your mind. If you continue that, you will remain one place. A man who occupies his heart with envy and jealous is always stagnated in life. Open your heart, and God will richly bless you. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, are you envious of me? Look at your neighbor, eyeball to eyeball. Say, neighbor, are you envious of me? If you are envious of me, you better change your mind. Because the more you are envious of me, the more I go higher. Am I speaking to somebody now? The more they envy you, the more God lifts you up. The more they envy you, the more God lifts you up. So don't give attention to someone who is on the floor, because envious people are always on the floor. People who are envious, they are always on the floor. But people whose hearts are open and clean, they are always on the top. Don't allow someone on the floor to drag you down, because every man is envious of every man who is on the top. You better give attention to where you are going to and no distraction. Push your neighbor, say, neighbor, are you envious of me? Open your hands, show your neighbor, so that your neighbor will leave you. So that your neighbor will stop envying you. Open your hands, show your neighbor. Show your neighbor. Say, neighbor, look at my palms. Do we look alike? Can't you go your way? Can't you run on your lane? It's a simple truth. Show your neighbor. It's the truth. Show your neighbor your palm. Does it look alike? Huh? Bring those twins.